Sivaya Nama Tiruchitrambalam. Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about pain. One stage or the other in our life, we would have gone through pain or a suffering. Is this considered to be a blessing or is it going to be a curse? I can understand your mind voice. Obviously, your pain is going to be considered as a curse, right? So, we are going to talk about that in this particular episode. Imagine I'm going to do some cooking. While I'm doing cooking, I'm burning my fingers by accident. Immediately, my immediate reflex or my reaction would be to remove my hand quickly from the fire or from the object which is bringing in that heat. Now, when you talk about the reflex that I had, my body had, when it went through the pain, that is the most important one. What happened here is the brain sends a signal saying that you need to remove your hands quickly, if not, it will get burnt further. Imagine if we don't have that kind of a burning sensation or if there is no pain. I would start cooking and I would just keep on cooking and I would end up burning my fingers and the damage would have been even more higher. This is exactly the same for wounds as well. Imagine I'm cutting something, cutting a vegetable or something, and by accident I cut my fingers. It's going to be the same. Any kind of a pain is basically a blessing because to warn us and ensure that we avoid getting into further damage because of the injury. This is exactly what we are going to talk about in our spiritual life also. Now, let me go into a little bit more details when it comes to burns. When you talk about fire accidents and burns, usually they classify the burns under first degree, second degree, or a third degree burn. What happens if during the first degree or the second degree is our body will still be able to feel the pain, and the pain will be so immense that it will literally feel as if we are burning. That is the sensation that a person will have when we are going through that pain for the first degree as well as the second degree. But when a person goes through the third degree burn, totally they will not feel any pain. That's the miracle of this body. You can watch the videos on I Shouldn't Have Been Alive. There's a whole series that is available. It is to capture all the accidents that is happening. So they would be like climbing Mount Alps or something of that sort, and they would have tripped and fallen down, and because of that they would have ended up having a fractured arms or legs or ankles and all these. The bones would be just popping up of the skin, and it would be so damaged. Yet they will not feel any pain. They would be able to crawl all the way until they could get some help. What happens here is, that is the beauty of our brain. What happens here is, when the brain has identified certain decibel of pain, immediately it will cut off or rather mentally amputate that particular portion of the body. The reason is our heart will not be able to take the pain, and immediately it will end up in a heart arrest situation. In order to protect the heart, the brain will send a signal. In order to protect the heart, it will just cut off that part from the body, and so the pain signals will not be sent back. This is the beauty of how our body has been created by God. Now, we are going to use this exact analogy, or rather this reality, into our spiritual life. Imagine we are going through some suffering due to our friends or relatives or our spouse or kids or whoever, it could be our parents, whoever it is. We are going through some kind of a pain. Immediately, what should be our reflexes? When we touch a fire, how fast we are moving away our fingers. That's exactly the reflex we need to have, because no point in forcing our thoughts on someone else. Imagine it could be my husband or my kid or my mom, whoever it is, or my siblings, my very best friend, they have all taken birth not just to make sure that I am happy. They have taken birth not to fulfill my wishes or my desires. They have taken birth to go through their karma, like what I have been born for. I've taken this birth to get rid of my karma, and they have taken birth to take care of their karma. We are entangled and we are moving on with this path. So there is no point in forcing my thoughts or my expectations on them and forcing them to do whatever I want them to do, which they don't want. End of the day, when I push my expectation on others, that is where I go through the pain. The moment I feel the pain, my reflex must be the same way when my fingers are getting cut, I remove my fingers quickly, similar to that. Does it mean that I have to totally cut away from my relationship? No. We still need the knife. We still need to do our cooking the next day. Even to cut our breads, we need it. We still need heat. We still need to make our coffee the next day morning. So we still need it. But just that we need to be a bit more careful. Exactly the same reflex we are going to show in our relationships as well. When we go through the pain, we need to step away and say, okay, this particular scenario is giving me a pain, which means my expectations is not right. I'm going to retract. I'm still in that relationship, but I'm just retracting myself. So it is not that totally cut off everyone. We are still there, but we are something like a lotus leaf. If you have observed, it has a non-sticky kind of a characteristic. That's exactly how we should be with those kind of relationships as well, because we have all taken this birth to go through some kind of a karmic effect. If you look at saints, name the saint whoever we are able to see. If you look at the saints, the great saints in this world, they have gone through immense pain that they are not able to take it anymore. Like what happens during the 3rd degree burn, as our brain just cuts off. Similar to that, they just let go of everything and they totally surrender to God. The matter of fact that we are whining and crying and we are still mumbling about our problems, we haven't reached our 3rd degree burn yet. We are still in the 1st and the 2nd degree. So whatever we are able to take on, whatever level of pain we are able to absorb, that alone is given to us by Lord Shiva. So what we have to do is go through the pain and at the same time retract from whatever situations are giving us this pain. Surrendering ourselves totally to the Almighty will help and soothe the pain so that we can come out of this in a more comfortable manner. So remember, pain is a blessing in disguise. That is the truth. Pain is not a curse, rather it is a boon. It is a blessing. Blessing or a warning to say, enough, you need to rethink about your actions or your thoughts or even your words. So, as I said earlier, pain is a blessing in disguise. Sivaya Nama, Tiruchitrambalam.